Dear Oceanside families, it seems that every day something new or different comes up relating to COVID-19 and how we're handling it in our schools. To that end, I opted to do a video message this week in an attempt to explain some of these topics. First, I want to speak to the willingness to test survey that we sent last week. As you may know, the governor has indicated that based on increased numbers of confirmed cases, he would declare whether or not a particular zip code would fall into either a red, orange, or yellow zone. Each of these zones carries with it a requirement that a percentage of our school population, staff and student combined, be tested and proven negative in order for our schools to remain open. By sending out the willingness to test survey, I was able to determine that there would be a very strong likelihood that we would be able to reach a voluntary participation rate that would meet the governor's requirement. This is really very good news for all of us. I want you to be assured that we have a plan in place should our district be declared in one of these zones. We will be working with a medical agency that would handle all of the testing for us. Please know that prior to granting any consent, you would be given the specifics regarding all of the testing procedures, including a description of what the test actually looks like, which at this point we believe will be a mouth swab, how, as parents, you could be part of the process, and where the actual testing would take place. At this time, I ask that you not be overly concerned about this, but just know that our district does have a plan in place. Regarding our virtual School of Excellence, I am happy to report that, as promised, we gave parents who chose an all-remote option for their child beginning in September a one-time opportunity to change their choice to an in-person model. Over 80% of our parents opted to continue to have their students remain in an all-remote model. The remaining 20% have been given options that they are comfortable with moving forward for the remainder of the year. All of this is a true testament to our outstanding school leaders and the teachers we have who are handling this completely new way of delivering instruction. I have made a commitment to continually monitor the possibility of returning more students to our schools, especially at the secondary level, with a special focus on our senior class. I assure you that we will keep you posted if there is any change in our current plan. There have been a number of questions raised as to whether or not we intend to begin winter sports on January 4th. At this time, our district's commitment to do so remains firm. We will be continuing to follow the governor's regulations, which prohibit high-risk sports, including basketball, competitive cheerleading, and wrestling, from playing. Any change in that requirement would come directly from the governor. I do want to applaud all of our district coaches for the creative work they've been doing with all of their teams through our Fall Connection program. We feel it has been an excellent way for our student athletes to remain connected to their coaches. And at this time, we all continue to remain optimistic that a winter, fall, and spring sports season will occur. In regards to fine and performing arts, I am happy to report that Mr. Brace and his outstanding group of teachers are beginning to develop a way that our artists will be able to demonstrate the fruits of their labor. It is incumbent upon us to remember how important it is for those artists to have experiences similar to what they were used to, and we are diligently working on that. At this point, I would also add kudos to all of our teachers who are working with our students remotely in all of their extracurricular activities. In many ways, they have not missed a beat. This even includes our elementary students who had an opportunity to make their campaign speeches virtually as they ran for different student council offices. It was truly a joy to watch and listen to our resilient students as they successfully navigated through these uncharted territories. My final words are about our collective commitment to keep our school community safe. I know that it feels alarming when you continue to receive almost daily notifications from me about the number of confirmed cases. And of course, I know that number has continued to rise. That being said, statistically, our numbers are still very low. Questions have been raised as to how and why we keep our schools open despite these numbers. First, let me assure you that we continue to get guidance and direction from the Nassau County Department of Health. When we describe the protocols that we have in place, including the commitment to 6 feet social distancing, accurate and swift contact tracing, thanks to the efforts of our building principals, and clean and well sanitized buildings, thanks to the efforts of our custodial staff, the Department of Health continues to validate that our schools are the safest place for our students. However, I remind you that your efforts must continue to be part of the equation. To that end, please make sure that you continue to follow the assurance guarantee that you committed to in September, which includes daily temperature checks and seeking medical advice if your child experiences any symptoms. I also ask that you recognize that if a child is quarantined, it means much more than just the fact that they cannot go to school. You must follow the Department of Health guidelines that clearly delineate what it means to quarantine. Sadly, I have been told that there are students that are quarantined and not attending school, but are participating in outside gatherings and events, including sporting activities. This obviously defeats the point of the quarantine and puts others in unnecessary danger. I recognize that we are all facing COVID fatigue. However, I truly believe that we are reaching the top of the mountain and just have to get over the final push before we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Please keep in mind that the way out is through, and we will get through this together and come out stronger in the end. I thank you all again and hope that you have a happy and healthy week. Thank you.